The world is constantly trying to invade your mind. It wants your anger, your fear, your reaction, your peace, every insult, every setback, every disappointment, every injustice. It's all designed to breach your defenses, to pull you out of center, to make you reactive, emotional, unstable. And if you let it in, if you allow external events to dictate your internal state, you're not living. You're being lived. You're a puppet dancing to strings you can't even see. The Stoics understood something that modern people have completely forgotten. Your mind is a citadel, and you are the only one who controls the gates. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can affect you without your permission. Not their words, not their actions, not fate itself. Marcus Aurelius, commanding armies on the front lines, watching soldiers die, dealing with plague and betrayal, wrote in his private journal, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Read that again. The pain isn't the event. The pain is your interpretation, and you control that interpretation completely. Epictetus, a former slave who had every reason to be bitter, angry, broken, taught, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them, not by things, by your view of things." That's the key. That's the secret. That's the foundation of invincibility. Today, I'm closing the gates. I'm giving you the 10 iron laws the Stoics used to build minds that could not be touched by external chaos. By the end of this video, you'll know how to become a ghost to the noise around you, invisible to insults, immune to loss, untouchable by circumstance. But first, you need to understand why you're so vulnerable right now. The open fortress right now. Your mind has no defenses. Every opinion walks right in. Every criticism sets up camp. Every setback occupies territory. Every disappointment conquers ground. You're living with the gates wide open, and you wonder why you're constantly under siege. Someone insults you. You're disturbed for hours, days, weeks. Someone rejects you. You question your worth. Something doesn't go as planned. You spiral into anxiety. Why? Because you've given everything outside of you power over everything inside of you. The Stoics called this exteriority, living from the outside in, letting external events dictate internal states. It's slavery, and most people live their entire lives in these chains without ever realizing they're wearing them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation, the first truth, the gateway to invincibility. You don't control what happens. You control only your response, and your response is where all your power lives. The 10 laws I'm about to give you are the walls, the gates, the moat, and the garrison of your inner citadel. Each law is a defense mechanism. Each one makes you more impenetrable, and when you've built all 10, nothing can touch you. Let's begin. Law 1. The objective representation. See things as they are, without drama. The first law of invincibility. Strip every event of the story you add to it. Right now, when something happens, you don't just see the event. You see your dramatic interpretation of it. Someone doesn't text you back. You don't think, they haven't responded yet. You think, they're ignoring me. They don't care. I'm not important to them. This means something terrible about me. You've taken a neutral event, a delayed text, and turned it into a tragedy, a referendum on your worth, a story. The Stoics called this practice catalepsis, seeing things objectively as they truly are, without adding your emotional narrative. Marcus Aurelius practiced this constantly. He would take events that seemed terrible and describe them in the most clinical, objective terms possible. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He's not being negative. He's being objective. People are going to be difficult. That's reality. No story, no drama, just fact. Here's your practice. When something happens that disturbs you, stop. Describe it like a scientist observing data. Someone spoke words I didn't like. Not, they attacked me. My project didn't succeed this time. Not, I'm a failure. A relationship ended. Not, I'm unlovable. Strip the drama, see the bare facts, and suddenly the event loses its power to disturb you. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But you can only control your reaction when you see things clearly, without the added story, without the emotional charge. This is Law 1. The objective representation. See events as they are, not as your fear interprets them. Remove the narrative. What remains can't hurt you. Law 2. The Inner Citadel. Build a fortress no one can breach. The second law, your mind is a castle, and you must fortify it. Right now, your thoughts and emotions are scattered, reactive. Anyone can walk in and plant a flag. The Stoics understood that true power comes from creating an inner space that is completely sovereign, a place where no external force has authority. Marcus Aurelius called this the Inner Citadel, a mental fortress that remains calm regardless of the chaos outside. He wrote, "Men seek retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores, and mountains. But this is altogether the mark of the most common sort of men, for it is in your power whenever you choose to retire into yourself. You don't need to escape to a mountain. You need to build the mountain inside. Here's how you construct the citadel. First, guard the gates. Not every thought deserves entry. Not every emotion gets to stay. Not every external opinion has permission to influence you. Before anything enters your mind, you inspect it. Is this useful? Does this serve me? Does this make me stronger? If not, it doesn't get in. Someone criticizes you. Before you internalize it, you ask, is this person qualified to judge me? Do they want me to succeed? Is this feedback or projection? If it's projection, it dissolves at the gate. Second, build the walls. Your walls are your principles, your values, your standards. When you know who you are and what you stand for, external chaos can't shake you, because your foundation is internal, not external. Marcus Aurelius had a set of virtues he returned to constantly: wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. No matter what happened outside, war, plague, betrayal, he measured his actions against those values. Not against public opinion, not against circumstances. That's a wall that can't be breached. Third, stock the armory. Your armory is filled with truths, Stoic principles, practices you can deploy when under attack. When someone insults you, you have a defense ready. Their words reveal their character, not mine. When you fail, you have a truth waiting. This is information, not identity. I learn and move forward. When you lose something, you have a principle. Everything is temporary. I never owned it. I borrowed it. These aren't affirmations. These are weapons. Mental tools that protect you from being destabilized. Seneca wrote, "Walls cannot protect the mind, but the mind can protect itself." When you build the inner citadel properly, nothing external can invade. This is Law 2, the inner citadel. Build a mental fortress with guarded gates, strong walls, and an arsenal of Stoic truths. Make your mind unconquerable. Law 3, Contemptuous Expressions. Learn to see the futile as ridiculous. The third law is brutal. Most of what disturbs you is absurd when you see it clearly. The Stoics practiced cataphronesis, looking at things that seem important and recognizing them as trivial, temporary, and ultimately meaningless. Marcus Aurelius used this technique constantly. He would take things people valued, wealth, fame, power, physical beauty, and describe them in the most unromantic, contemptuous terms possible. He wrote, "That which is beautiful in itself. Praise adds nothing to it, nor does blame take anything away. And everything material is like a river flowing past us. Everything is perishable, of no value." He's not being cynical. He's being clear. He's refusing to give external things power over his peace. Here's your practice. When something disturbs you, describe it with contempt. Strip it of its illusory importance. Someone is angry at you. They're making facial expressions and vocal sounds because they haven't mastered their own emotions. This is their weakness, not my problem. You lost money. Pieces of paper or digital numbers decreased. My ability to create value remains unchanged. Someone doesn't approve of you. A person I may never see again has a negative thought about me. This affects nothing real. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about perspective. It's about refusing to inflate the importance of things that don't actually matter. Epictetus said, "If you regard that which is not your own as being your own, you will be disturbed." Translation: if you give importance to things outside your control, their opinions, their approval, their actions, you'll suffer. But when you see those things with contempt, as the trivial external events they are, they lose all power. This is Law 3, Contemptuous Expressions. Look at what disturbs you and see it as absurd, temporary, and powerless. What you find ridiculous can't control you. Law 4, the Transient Nature. Remember, this too shall pass. The fourth law, nothing lasts. Not the pain, not the loss, not the triumph, nothing. The Stoics meditated constantly on impermanence. Not to be depressed, but to be free. Because when you remember that everything is temporary, you stop clinging to what you can't keep, and you stop being devastated when it leaves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is a river of passing events, a violent torrent. No sooner is something seen than it has swept by, and something else takes its place, and that too will be swept away. Everything you're experiencing right now, the good and the bad, is already in the process of changing, dissolving, becoming something else. That insult you're replaying? In a week, you won't even remember the exact words. That failure you're devastated by? In a year, it'll be a footnote. In 10 years, completely forgotten. That person who rejected you. In the grand scope of time, both of you are flashes, temporary, soon gone. When you internalize impermanence, two things happen. First, pain loses its grip. You're suffering right now because you're treating this moment as permanent, as if this feeling will last forever, as if this situation defines everything. It doesn't. It won't. Seneca said, "A setback has often cleared the way for greater prosperity. Many things have fallen only to rise to more exalted heights." This moment, no matter how dark, is passing. and something else is coming. When you remember this, you can endure anything because you know it's temporary. Second, you stop clinging. Right now, you're holding on desperately to things that are already leaving. Relationships, status, possessions, youth, health, all of it is already in motion toward its end. The Stoic doesn't try to freeze time. He appreciates what's here, knowing it's temporary. And when it goes, he doesn't break, because he never pretended it would stay. Marcus Aurelius practiced this with everything he loved. He would imagine his children dying, his wife leaving, his empire crumbling. Not to be morbid, to be prepared, to be free from the illusion of permanence. Here's your practice. When you're disturbed, ask, will this matter in 5 years? 10? On my deathbed? Almost nothing will, and suddenly your suffering becomes optional. This is Law 4, the Transient Nature. Meditate on impermanence. Remember that everything, including your current pain, is temporary. What passes cannot defeat you. Law 5, the Master Virtue. Reason above emotion, always. The 5th law, emotion is a servant, not a master. Right now, your emotions rule you. They tell you what to think, what to do, how to interpret reality. You feel angry, so you believe you've been wronged. You feel anxious, so you believe danger is coming. You feel rejected, so you believe you're worthless. Your feelings are making truth claims, and you're believing them without question. The Stoics said, stop. Emotions are information, sometimes useful, often misleading, but never authoritative. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The key word, mind, not feelings. Mind, reason, rational thought. Here's the Stoic hierarchy. At the top, reason, the ability to think clearly, to see truth, to judge accurately. In the middle, will, the ability to act according to reason, not impulse. At the bottom, emotion, useful signal, terrible commander. Right now, you have it reversed. Emotion is commanding. Reason is justifying emotion's decisions. Will is enslaved to feeling. Flip it. When you feel something intensely, anger, fear, desire, you don't immediately act. You don't immediately believe. You pause. You inspect. You ask reason. Is this feeling accurate? Is it useful? What's the truth here? Epictetus taught, don't let the force of an impression when it first hit you knock you off your feet. Just say, wait, let me examine who you are and what you represent. Let me test you. Test your emotions like a scientist testing a hypothesis. Don't just accept them because they feel true. Here's your practice. Morning rational reset. Before your day begins, before emotions have been triggered, you declare your rational principles. I am in control of my responses. I will not react from emotion alone. I will pause and choose my actions based on reason and virtue. In the moment pause. When emotion surges, anger, fear, hurt, you physically pause. 3 deep breaths. Then you ask, what is actually true here? What does reason say? What action aligns with my principles? Then you act from there, not from feeling, from reason. Marcus Aurelius faced death threats, betrayal, military defeat. His emotions would have urged panic, revenge, despair. Instead, he returned to reason. He asked, what is the right action here? What does virtue demand? And he acted accordingly. Calm, rational, unshaken. This is Law 5, the Master Virtue. Put reason above emotion. Let logic command. Let will execute. Let emotion inform, but never control. This is sovereignty. Law 6. The Dichotomy of Control. Absolute version. Radical acceptance of what you cannot change. The sixth law takes the dichotomy of control to its extreme conclusion. 99% of what happens is outside your control. Accept it completely, or suffer completely. This isn't the soft version where you try to let go of what you can't control. This is the brutal version. You have zero emotional investment in anything outside your control. Zero. You don't control whether they love you, whether you get the job, whether your business succeeds, whether you get sick, whether they respect you, whether the economy crashes, whether you live or die tomorrow. You control only your effort, your character, your response, your interpretation, your values. That's it. Nothing else. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" Whatever happens was always going to happen. Fighting it is insanity. Here's the radical practice: total surrender to the uncontrollable. When something outside your control happens, good or bad, you respond with the same phrase. This is what happened. Now, what can I control? Not, this shouldn't have happened. Not, why me? Not, this is unfair. Just, this is reality. What's my response? Someone betrays you. This happened. I control my boundaries going forward. You get fired. This happened. I control my next move. You get sick. This happened. I control how I respond to it. Epictetus practiced this so thoroughly that when his master broke his leg, Epictetus remained calm. When asked why he wasn't upset, he said, "I told you it would break if you kept doing that." No resistance, no, this shouldn't have happened. Just acceptance and appropriate response. This is Law 6. Radical acceptance of the uncontrollable. Give zero emotional energy to what you cannot change. All energy goes to response. This is the ultimate freedom. Law 7. The Pre-rehearsal of Adversity. Expect the worst, and nothing can shock you. The seventh law. Never be surprised by chaos. Right now, you live in optimistic delusion. You assume things will go smoothly, that people will be reasonable, that your plans will work. And then reality happens, and you're devastated, shocked, unprepared. The Stoics said, that's your fault. They practiced premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, negative visualization, mental rehearsal of worst-case scenarios. Not to be pessimistic, to be unshakable. Every morning before his day began, Seneca would imagine everything going wrong. What if I lose everything today? What if I'm betrayed? What if I fail publicly? What if someone attacks me? He would visualize these scenarios vividly, experience them mentally, prepare his response. Then, when things actually went wrong, he wasn't shocked. He was ready. Marcus Aurelius did the same. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He wasn't hoping for the best. He was expecting difficulty, and when it came, it didn't disturb him, because he had already faced it in his mind. Here's your practice. Morning adversity meditation. 5 minutes. Sit quietly. Visualize worst-case scenarios for your day. The meeting goes terribly. Someone insults you publicly. Your plans completely fall apart. You fail at something important. Experience it mentally. Feel the initial sting. Then ask, if this actually happens, what will I do? How will I respond with virtue? Rehearse your response. See yourself handling it calmly. rationally, with dignity. Then go into your day. And when adversity comes, and it will, you've already lived it, already decided your response, already proven to yourself you can handle it. Nothing can shock you. Nothing can break you, because you've already broken in your mind and survived. This is Law 7, Pre-rehearsal of Adversity. Expect difficulty. Visualize failure. Prepare mentally. What you've already faced cannot surprise you. Law 8. The indifference to outcomes. Detach from results completely. The 8th law is where most people fail. Stop caring about outcomes. Not stop trying. Stop caring. Right now, your peace is held hostage by results. If you succeed, you're happy. If you fail, you're devastated. That's slavery to fortune. And fortune is a cruel master. The Stoics taught radical detachment from outcomes. You control your effort. The universe controls results. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." Marcus Aurelius took this further. Concentrate every minute like a Roman on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice. Notice what's missing? Concern for outcome. He's focused only on doing the right thing right now with full effort. What happens after? Not his problem. Here's the practice. Redefine success. Success is no longer getting the result you want. Success is acting with virtue, regardless of result. You give the presentation with full effort and honesty. Whether they like it, irrelevant. You did your part. You train for the competition with complete dedication. Whether you win, not your concern. You showed up fully. You build the business with intelligence and work ethic. Whether it succeeds, outside your control. Your only job, maximum effort, complete virtue, full presence. The outcome, that's fate's job. When you detach from outcomes, two things happen. First, you become unstoppable. Failure can't break you because you're not measuring success by results. You're measuring it by effort and character. You can fail 1,000 times and remain unshaken because you're succeeding where it matters, in your character. Second, paradoxically, your results improve. When you're not desperate for outcomes, you perform better. You're calm, focused, not paralyzed by fear of failure. You give your best when you care least about what happens. This is Law 8, Indifference to Outcomes. Detach completely from results. Give maximum effort, then release attachment. What happens, happens. You remain unmoved. Law 9, the voluntary hardship. Choose difficulty before life forces it on you. The 9th law, comfort is the enemy of invincibility. Right now, you avoid discomfort at all costs. You want everything easy, convenient, comfortable. And every day you choose comfort, you become softer, weaker, more vulnerable. Then, when real hardship comes, and it will, you shatter, because you have no tolerance for difficulty. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship, deliberately choosing discomfort to build resilience. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, would regularly sleep on the floor, wear rags, eat plain bread and water. Why? To prove to himself, I can handle loss. I can handle poverty. These external comforts don't define me. Marcus Aurelius, emperor with every luxury available, practiced cold exposure, fasting, and mental rehearsal of losing everything, because he knew, if you wait for life to make you uncomfortable, you won't be ready. But if you choose discomfort daily, you become unbreakable. Here's your practice. Daily voluntary hardship. Choose one uncomfortable thing every single day. Cold shower workout when exhausted. Fast for 24 hours. Sleep on the floor. Sit in silence for an hour. Have the difficult conversation, not because you enjoy suffering, because you're training yourself. I can handle discomfort. I can function when things aren't perfect. I don't need comfort to be strong. Then, when real hardship comes, job loss, relationship ending, health crisis, you're already calibrated for pain. It doesn't shock your system. You've been practicing. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" Translation: make yourself practice poverty, discomfort, and difficulty, so when they come for real, you're already trained. This is Law 9, Voluntary Hardship. Choose discomfort daily. Build tolerance for difficulty. Become someone who functions powerfully regardless of conditions. Law 10, the Death Meditation. Remember, you will die. Today might be your last. The 10th and final law, Memento Mori. Remember death. This is the law that makes all the others urgent. Right now, you live like you have infinite time. You'll deal with that later. You'll change tomorrow. You'll start eventually. And while you wait, life is passing. The clock is ticking, and you don't know when it stops. The Stoics meditated on death daily, not to be morbid, to be fully alive. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Every decision filtered through that lens. If I die tonight, will I regret this? That petty argument. Irrelevant. Death makes it absurd. That grudge you're holding? Meaningless. You could both be gone tomorrow. That fear of what they think? Laughable. You're dying. Why waste time on their opinion? Here's the final practice. Morning death meditation. Every single morning, before anything else, you say out loud, "I will die. Maybe today, maybe in 50 years, but the clock is ticking. This day might be my last. How will I spend it?" Then you choose, consciously, deliberately. Will you waste it scrolling, complaining, hiding? Or will you act with courage, virtue, and full presence? Death makes the choice obvious. And here's the paradox. When you remember death daily, you become invincible to everything else. What can they do to you? At worst, kill you. And you've already made peace with that. What can they take from you? Everything. And you've already practiced losing it. What can they say about you? Anything. And you'll be dead soon anyway, so who cares? This is Law 10, the Death Meditation. Remember, you will die. Let that make everything else trivial. Let it make your virtue urgent. Let it make you unstoppable. Practical application, real scenarios. Now let's make this real. How do you actually use these laws when life attacks? Scenario 1. Someone insults you publicly. Normal reaction, anger, embarrassment, obsessive replaying, Stoic response using the laws. Law 1. Objective representation. They spoke words. That's all that happened. The rest is my interpretation. Law 3. Contemptuous expression. They're making sounds with their mouth because they lack emotional control. This reveals their weakness. Law 2. Inner Citadel. Their words dissolve at the gate. They don't have permission to enter. Result: unmoved, calm, no reaction. You continue as if nothing happened. Scenario 2. You fail at something important publicly. Normal reaction: shame, self-criticism, hiding. Stoic response, Law 4, Transient Nature. In 1 year, no one will remember this. It's already passing. Law 8, Indifference to outcomes. I gave full effort. The outcome isn't mine to control. I succeeded where it matters, in character. Law 3, Training. This failure is information. I learn and improve. Result, no devastation, just data. You move forward immediately. Scenario 3, everything goes wrong in 1 day. Normal reaction, overwhelm, anxiety. Why me? Stoic response, Law 6, Radical acceptance. This is reality. I don't ask why. I ask, what can I control? Law 7, Pre-rehearsal. I already imagine this. I'm prepared. Law 5, Reason over emotion. My feelings are screaming. But what does reason say? Handle one thing at a time. Result, calm action, no panic, problem-solving mode. Scenario 4, someone you love leaves you. Normal reaction, heartbreak, desperation, begging. Stoic response, Law 4, Impermanence. Everything ends. I knew this was temporary from the beginning. Law 2, Inner Citadel. My completeness doesn't depend on them. I am whole alone. Law 10, Death. We're both dying. This pain is temporary. Life continues. Result, sadness, yes, but no collapse. You remain intact. This is how you live invincibly, not by avoiding pain, but by being untouchable by it. The final truth. Let me end with this. You've been living your entire life at the mercy of external events. Every setback breaks you. Every insult wounds you. Every loss devastates you. It doesn't have to be this way. The Stoics proved it's possible to walk through hell and remain calm, to lose everything and remain whole, to be attacked from all sides and remain unmoved. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and the death of his children, and wrote some of history's most peaceful, rational philosophy. Epictetus lived in chains, was tortured, became disabled, and became one of the freest men who ever lived. Seneca was exiled, stripped of wealth, and eventually executed, and remained composed until his final breath. They weren't superhuman. They just built what you now have. The 10 Laws of Invincibility. These aren't theories. They're weapons, mental armor, a complete defense system for your mind. Use them, practice them daily, build them into your automatic responses, and watch what happens. The insults bounce off, the setbacks become information, the losses become impermanent, the chaos becomes background noise. You walk through fire and don't burn, through criticism and don't break, through failure and don't collapse. You become what the Stoics were, untouchable. Not because nothing affects you, but because you've built a fortress between the world and your peace. The world can do what it wants outside. Inside, you're sovereign. If you're ready to build this level of invincibility, subscribe to Stoic Forge. This isn't self-help. This is mental warfare training. We're building minds that cannot be broken. Or don't. Stay reactive. Stay vulnerable. Stay at the mercy of every event and opinion. But remember, the Stoics are dead. But they died free, unbent, unbroken. You're alive. But are you free? Or are you a prisoner to everything that happens around you? Close the gates. Build the walls. Become untouchable. Or stay open and be invaded forever. The choice is yours. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius.